Hi, hi, hi. Hello, Sagittarius. Happy full moon in Leo day. Happy fire sign. Well, full moons in fire signs, of course, are going to affect all the fire signs. Also the air signs, though. And I wanted to... I'm always talking about getting in the bathtub with some Epsom salts or some bentonite clay or whatever kind of earth element of your choice that makes you happy. And I wanted to explain today why I say that, because when you have a full moon in fire, the other side of that seesaw is whatever air sun we are in. So this is Leo and Aquarius, but when it's Gemini and Sagittarius, you know, or it's Libra and Aries. And so when you get in the water with some kind of earth element like Epsom salt, bentonite clay, flower petals, cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, all of these things are earthy elements that you can put into the tub. You are now sitting in a tub that has all four elements, and that makes you the magician. It makes that environment like an environment conducive to like master manifestation. It's also extremely wonderful for connecting if you want to connect to guides, and also if you want to do inner child work, because it also creates like a very well balanced environment, which also creates a sense of safety and just support from universe. So hence why I'm always like, get in the tub. Yeah, and that's what I will be doing after Sagittarius's reading, because we are still in the energy of the full moon. It happened about 3 hours ago, at the exact 16 degrees and 42 minutes, but we're still in the energy of it anytime tonight. And if you didn't watch my Leo full moon special yesterday, hi Dolly and Neela and Tanya, if you please do, but watch it when you have time, because it's deep. We do deep work in there, to the point where at some point I say in the healing, before we get into the deeper tender stuff, that is very beneficial, but definitely deep and tender, and you want to be like in the right headspace, mind space, heart space, to be doing it, to ask your guides and your higher self consent before continuing, and to take your own temperature and how you're feeling with your nervous system before you continue. So it's something also that's universal and timeless. It's evergreen content, which means you can watch that again next month, because there's a new subject up around what you want to address in your life or in your coping mechanisms. You'll be able to use that walkthrough your whole life for a million different things. So definitely watch it. And I mean, if you want to share it, I would certainly appreciate that. But watch it. Let me know how you do with it. Hello, May. And also save it. Maybe download it to your computer. I'm not going anywhere. The channel's not going anywhere. But just because, I mean, I'm going to save that particular one to my hard drive. But I would save it so you just have it and you can use it. Or you can just watch it on here when you need to, but save it in your favorites. Okay. But having a backup of it. It's probably easier to come here and just watch it or put it on a favorites list. We are looking into, I just had a download big time. Sorry. I was like, a squirrel. No, I had a big download. Wow. Okay. So we are looking into Sagittarius, my lovely Sagittarians, for February. We're going to look at your energy, the kind of energy, the vibe that you may have just come out of, or that may have been contributing to how the past has gone for you, the past energy. The past can be last week, yesterday, the last 2 years. You'll know for you. Then we're going to look at the energy that's available to you in the month now and through the month of February. And then we're going to look at the energy that you're probably stepping into. And when we're doing that, we're also looking at other. Now, if you're new here, the other energy, so this looks like a 9 page. I don't have the fancy over the camera. Just trust me, there's 9. It's set up 3 this way and 3 this way, okay? Over here, I have past, present, future of other. And other is whatever other energy is affecting you the most. If you have more than one energy affecting you the most, then I might pick up on both energies. You'll know how to separate it. It can also be, it could be the person on your mind. It could be an ex. It can be your now partner. It could be your mother-in-law, or issues that are really, you're struggling with at home. It could be also your own self. It's when sometimes we are stepping out of or trying to step into a new version of ourselves. If this feels palpable to you, I'm going to tell you that this other is probably the energy you are probably trying to heal or step or move out of. And that this is going to be the part of you that is trying to heal that. The part of you that is growing. Okay? The last row that I have in the middle is the alchemy between those two energies. And the reason why I find that I do that and that I find that to be so important is because often, more often than not, people are not always transparent. And when I say people, I mean us as well. You, me, right? Because we're, while we pride ourselves on being honest, sometimes we're not always fully transparent because of vulnerability, because of fear of rejection, because keeping things private, because we're people who, don't talk about it, we be about it, so we don't always spill all the beans. And it could also be because you're not in communication, or the communication is just not fully transparent between you two. It's broken down between you and this other energy, right? So when we are doing this, that alchemy is how your energy is reacting to the energy they're giving off rather than the words that they're saying or not saying. And you can be in complete non-communication with somebody and still feel them all the time if that connection is strong. So that alchemy is kind of like what's happening, what the result on the ground is happening energetically between the two of you. Because if you're at a reading, if there was full transparency and communication, you wouldn't be listening to this. You wouldn't need a third party to look into the energies. Am I right? I'm right. All right. So now that we explained that, immediately my nose is running for this. And that is a new thing for me. I don't know if that's a new sign. I would love a different new sign. Just saying, I'm grateful for all the signs and all the gifts. But a different sign than my nose running. Not going to be mad at it. Throwing that out there. We are using today, because it's a private joke of my mom, I always want to call it the double funny tarot. But this is the double major. It's very interesting. So we only are using major arcana or court cards for this tarot, but they come with 2 meanings for each. So I have the guidebook ready because I'm not well versed on every single version of this. And then there's the reverse. And so it comes with extra meanings. Sagittarius, I gotta say, the energy I get from Sag right now is a little bit of like a funk. Like somebody who's in a funk, or somebody who's trying to get out of a funk, or like you're in a funk and you're like, why am I in a funk? I don't want to be in a funk. but it felt really, really right. I don't use this deck a whole lot in general readings because I use it more for clarifications. It felt really right. It felt really aligned to use this for the major reading because I feel like we need some more in depth, and it feels like this is about big things. It feels like February could be big for Sagittarius. So this is going to be great. Also, if you're Sun, Moon, Rising Sagittarius, ninth house placements. If you're a North Node in Sagittarius, if you're a Venus, and listen, if you're here and you don't know why, there's a message here for you. It's that easy. Okay. Let's get one more. Oh, flew out and flew back in. All right. One more. I'm feeling a little tired. The full moon is right on my Venus. Well, not right on, but it's conjunct enough that I'm like, I am not going to bother. The bags under my eyes, they're going to show. That's not what anybody's here for. And I just didn't bother with a lot of stuff because I am going to hop in the tub after this and just give myself self-love and self-care while not judging how visually presentable I may be in these moments. These cards are so effing cool. All right. I can say so fucking cool. Clearly I don't have any advertisers. It's just that I don't want to offend anyone. I mean, you're Sagittarian, so I don't think I can. But taking it all in. Okay. So we have okay, where's all the court cards? Queen, page. We have very interesting cards for Sagittarius, as I suspected. There we go. So we have a Knight of Pentacles. Some of the illustration difference are so subtle that I just wanted to check to make sure which version I have. We have the Knight of Pentacles, Sagittarius. This is the energy that you're coming out of, or that mostly in the past is influencing. I'm glad you're not offended. I mean, in real life, I would say fucking not effing. So, because that's, because I know I'm not saying it at anyone. So I try to just be as much me, as I would be like in a session. Knight of Pentacles. So I always talk, like, tease that this is like the geriatric slow horse, but also, so it can be frustrating, especially for Sagittarius energy, that, you know, it would be so slow. It would take too long to get to the point. And that can be, again, frustrating for Sagittarius placements. However, that Pentacles is stability. That Knight is moving slow because they don't want to be here for just a good time. They want to be here for a long time. Now, whether that stability is your stability or somebody else trying to come in and bring stability. So like if you're happily coupled, this could be about your inner struggle, like I said, to let some part of you go and bring in a new part of you for growth. Or this can be related to work stuff, family stuff. Whatever this is that you're like, could this just shift already because it's painfully slow. Is the energy that you're coming out of. This is the regular Knight of Pentacles for this reading. Then we have more Pentacles. So this Sagittarius is, this could be, I mean, your card's on the table too, but this really could be about stability. This could be very money related, very like resource related. Hi, Danny. I just did Leo too. The Leo reading for February is on, and the Leo full moon special, if you haven't seen it, babe. So Queen of Pentacles. We are looking at this Queen of Pentacles. She understands the stability. She is the stability. Queen of Pentacles is somebody that you can like burn it all down and build it with it again. You know, I said I didn't really feel like this for like Aries and Leo so much. I do feel like for Sagittarius, this literally may be you stepping into a new part of you. But we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Normally the Queen of Pentacles is sitting kind of chin up. This Queen of Pentacles, although it is based off the Rider-Waite and the Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations, we don't say her name enough, we are looking at somebody who's kind of like looking down at the pentacle, almost in reverence, kind of in seriousness, and we see, gosh, a snake, a white peacock, like the peacock but without any color. Maybe that's a quail, shows you what I know. And there's water in the background. The Queen of Pentacles is fertile, they're abundant. This is the energy that this other energy is coming out of. This is how you may see them or how they may feel, okay? What's crazy is in between we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's in reverse. But what I always say about the Wheel of Fortune is it is up to us to turn it. That's the thing about the Wheel of Fortune, is that we're not waiting for any one thing to turn it. It's us. We have the ability to turn it. I'm going to go look at, make sure that we are dealing with the original Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And we are. The Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, which means it feels stuck between the two of you. Now, if this is another energy, if this is a work thing, if this is a resources thing, you may feel like something's coming in slow. They may feel like they look one way, but they're actually a little worried. And this Wheel of Fortune in between, in reverse, means neither is fully getting out of this exchange what they want. Now, good thing is that is in the past. This is the energy you're both stepping out of, or both you and you are stepping out of. Then we have the entire middle row in reverse and the entire bottom row in the upright. This is very interesting. I felt so called that Sagittarius is, again, there's almost feels like a little funk, or it's like, you know, when you're on the precipice of a big shift, because it feels fucking uncomfortable. It always does, right? Doesn't it? Technically, my Gemini, Mercury, because I have a flip chart, is in the 9th house. So that Sagittarian belief system, that thought process, I relate to the funk and knowing that, feeling like you're on the precipice of a big shift and feeling uncomfortable in it. We have the Temperance card. You know, I picked this because it is that double major. There's a double meaning to each, either major arcana or court card. But we did get a lot of the originals in here. We have Temperance. Temperance also came out in Leo's reading. And Temperance can mean, or its original meaning was, to abstain from alcohol. It's supposed to really mean about moderation, not just balance. I think some people see it as balance, and that's fine. But it's about moderation and divine balance. Specifically, if you're going to talk about balance, hi, Guy. If you're going to talk about balance and Temperance, you're talking about a divine balance. This came out in reverse. Something, again, I'm not really shocked by it, because there is this discomfort within the shift that kind of feels like you're impatient for it, and also a little like, but it could take a little longer at the same time. So there is a discomfort when Temperance is in reverse. It's not your flow. It's not the ease of how you would prefer to operate. There is a discomfort in what feels like moderation moderation is also about control. The other side of moderation is feeling in control of how you handle things, there's a word. Sorry, this seems important and I'm supposed to say this. In how you delegate and how you distribute. This feels like something that you feel most of the time in control of how you delegate and how you distribute. But right now, it's not. It's not feeling as controlled. It's feeling a little uncomfortable. It's feeling a little out of moderation, out of temperance. We're going to clarify that card. I cannot wait to clarify that card. In the others energy, we have the Knight of Swords, another knight on the table. It's in reverse. So for me, in the upright, the Knight of Swords, I just realized I have something about Mary. The Knight of Swords is a little passive aggressive, rushing in the words. In the upright is rushing in with the right words. This is, a lot of times I see it as like the rushing in with all the right words, a little bit of panty dropper. This always applies to my sapiosexuals, which means like your intellectual and your libido, your intellectual self and your libido are very connected. There are buttons and strings, like a tin can and a string, that communicate with each other. I often call this like the person that rushes in with empty words and then rushes out, or rushes in, drops a bomb, and then rushes out and doesn't stay. This is also kind of how I see people that like drop triggers on people and then don't stay around in continued support of what they just said or what they, it's in reverse. Now, in reverse, I find the Knight of Swords passive aggressive. It's kind of how I see the Knight of Swords, like passive aggressive, leaving you to try to like a little bit of a mind fuck, a little bit of like, therapy with a monkey wrench. Passive aggressive, trying to say something to get you to say the thing that you won't say, that they want you to say. And you're not saying it, I'm feeling like for a good reason. But this is passive aggressive, which is really hard to communicate with. Hence why I always feel that alchemaic line is so important, because often we are not getting full transparency in conversation, whether it's at work, at home, whatever. Somebody's not saying something because they just don't want to fight. Somebody's not saying all of their thoughts because they don't want to be rejected. There's a million reasons why somebody's not being 1000% transparent with you in communication. And not all of them are nefarious. Most of them aren't. But that's why this alchemy is so important. Here's what's interesting. Just like the Temperance, which is pouring healing into itself. Now, the thing about Temperance is there's all this universal resourcing in the Temperance card, in the water, in the bottom of the card. Again, bathtubs. It's a resource. It's a universal resource. But they're just, going back and forth, trying to balance the same water in their cup. Now, we have the Star card. And, Sagittarius and Aquarius are an excellent pair, right? But we have the Star card. The Star card shows almost a progress. For me, the Star card, it's like 5 of Cups, Temperance, Star card. And I know one is water, one is fire, and one is air. I don't care. I believe that is a show of progress in evolution, in healing, right? In here, we graduate to seeing that, like, they are very clearly, often we see this figure kneeling. They are taking what they've learned and pouring it into the universal resource, back into. This is healing. This is at the point, the Star card isn't just healing. It's really, truly at its highest translation, in my humble opinion, in its highest form, in its most healthiest expression, is to not only heal, but to give that back to others, to the point where you feel comfortable and confident enough about what you've learned in the healing process, where you're in practice, like whatever you've learned, whatever tools you've added to heal and keep yourself healthy, is in such an easy practice. It's like breathing at this point. You don't have to really think about it, and you're able to give back. It's in reverse. It's in reverse. So what we have is the healing is there. You're almost there to the point where you can pour it back, and so are they, except for they're either rejecting the healing and you are just maybe not confident to the point where that you can pour it back into others. I'm feeling imposter syndrome. Kind of like, who am I to give advice? Who am I to help others? What if I advise somebody wrong? What if I feel like a rejection on this side, and I feel from this side concerning the Star in this alchemaic center row, a rejection of have I really come that far? Am I in that position? It's like the opposite of ego death. It's a lack of fully believing in how far you've come. I knew this was not going to be any kind of a small reading. Okay. What's interesting is, because we're using the double major, guess what's up in the future for March? We have the Temperance card, but it's the other side of Temperance. Now we're sitting in the water. Now we are understanding that instead of making ourselves crazy and just pouring things from one to the other, we are appreciating everything. Let's look at what they say the meaning is for this Temperance card. For the second meaning, my Lord, if I've ever needed my glasses before. This writing is so effing tiny. Okay, for you, Sagittarius, I'm going to rally. I'm probably going to look a little cross-eyed, but I'm going to read the damn little writing. Okay. The angel forgot about her duty. She dipped her feet in the spring, even dropped one cup completely in the water. She is enjoying her free time, holding a reed and watching a butterfly flying around. She is about to not worry about work and leave it as time goes by. But this is also a beautiful and natural scene. Unlike when she was always nervous and tried to control and make balance. I have never read this before, I promise. When I said the whole thing about control, I promise you I never read this. On my kids, I promise. But this is also a beautiful natural scene that she was always nervous before and tried to control and make balance. She seems to not think it is not bad to be faithful to her spontaneous feelings. It can also be a good experience for a short relaxation of deviation in one's life. Of course, it would be difficult if this kind of situation continues to repeat. At some point, we cannot always be doing this, right? Because life has its own ebbs and flows, and we cannot control that because we cannot control other people's free will. We cannot always see into the future so we can feel confident enough to step into it. I'm going to say that again because that feels really, really channeled and really, really important to say. Sagittarius placements, walking around with your beautiful smiles and your big, giant, gorgeous energy. You cannot always control the future, and you cannot be fearful of the fact that you don't have complete control or knowing that it keeps you from stepping into it. This is understanding ebb and flow, and also allowing yourself the pleasure of not trying to be in control all the time. Enjoying the elements. And a little bit of trust. That you'll get back to it. You'll get back to some kind of moderation. You'll get back to whatever it is you're supposed to get back to, quite frankly, when it's time. This other energy has the Hermit. This is the regular Hermit. This is looking into where we can find wisdom within ourselves, growth within ourselves. This is when we stop looking at ourselves and the perception of others. Often others, for good, for bad, not meaning nefarious, all good intention, are mirrors of how we see ourselves through their eyes, but that's also their filter, their trauma, their all that, right? The Hermit goes in, we see the star. See the star in the Hermit lantern? The Hermit doesn't go into isolation because somebody has cast them into isolation. The Hermit goes into isolation sometimes partly because they have felt a little isolated and they find like, well, you know, I know how to deal with that. So let me go into the isolation. Let me go into this place of non-attachment purposefully with intent to find myself. That lantern is not looking for other things other than to have a deeper understanding of within, because Virgo owns the Hermit card and Virgo is about self-mastery. In between the alchemy of these two cards, we have the Queen of Cups. And I'm going to venture to say this is the second meaning of the Queen of Cups. Let's find it. I kind of can't wait to see what this meaning is. She is not sitting in her chair. She looks joyful. She is dancing. She still has her cup in her hand. This is a new, wild and free Queen of Cups. Let's see what this holds for the alchemy. The Queen of Cups suddenly gets up from her seat and dances brilliantly. There may have always been a rhythm towards beauty and artistic aspiration on her mind. She always endured the things within her inner side that could be revealed and bloomed after time, considering her role and status. However, when she actually starts to dance, there may be people who admire it and think that she is understandable. She has always been receptive, but she finally gets the chance to express herself. This time of actively enjoying the moment and bravely standing up is necessary for everyone. People may be surprised by the Queen's bold dance. Yo, I could not love that anymore for Sagittarius right now. Because we have angst and frustration. We have anxiety and stress of trying to balance it all. We have like, I feel like I've done a lot of healing, but who am I to like offer others, or who am I to think other people want to hear it from me? We have a Wheel of Fortune, stability, abundance that we have the choice to turn, but we haven't yet. We have the opposing energies, and then we have letting like trust in yourself. This is the opposite of imposter syndrome. This is the opposite of trying to be too careful and cultivating an appearance rather than giving in to it is what it is. I'm loving this. Let's clarify. Often I don't do readings where I feel like we don't need to clarify this. I almost feel like we don't need to clarify it, but we're gonna, because how could I not for Sagittarius after I did that for everyone else? And I always do that for everyone else. All right, so we're gonna get 3 cards for the upside down temperance in the card. So not only is it the original meaning, but it's upside down. We're going to get 3 cards for the original yet upside down meaning of Knight of Swords. We're going to get 3 cards for this secondary meaning, alternate meaning of temperance. And we're going to get 3 cards for the original classic Hermit. Okay. And then we'll close the whole thing with an oracle card just to get an extra message for my beautiful Sagittarians. And if you're just joining now, if you have time before the end of the day, give yourself at least 45 minutes for the child walkthrough and be ready in the heart, mind, and spiritual space. But there's a Leo full moon reading that I did yesterday, but it's really more of an inner child working, just a therapeutic working, really. And we talk about how to take your temperature so that you're always staying in a trauma-informed space for yourself. besides the fact that you'll be able to use that working for a million different things. Hopefully you'll find it as useful. I've never put out a video and gotten so many emails within the hour or two, and continue to get emails today about the effect or the benefit. It was guided. It was all very guided. I didn't write anything down. So if you get to it, then you're supposed to. Okay, can we get one more? Yes, we can. We're going to put that one back in. Woo! Lots of wands on their side and wands on your side. Okay. That's too many. That is interesting. That is interesting. Okay. And can we get 3 for this hermit? One of these cards turned the wrong way. Let me find it because it's messing up my shuffle, because these are like very pliable. I don't know if you can say. They're very curved from my shuffling. I used to have cute little dainty hands. Now I have like muscle hands from single momming and shuffling. And so now if the cardstock is pliable, all of my cards are bent. Leave me a comment if you also work with cards and you feel like that is also the case for you. You have like bent cards. Oh wow, that's why I clarify with a whole other deck, so that universe has all of its words. Alrighty then. And this is it's a huge box, ginormous. This is the Star Tarot, 2nd edition. Okay. I looked okay at the beginning of Aries. Like, talk about full moon on your Venus. I mean, I'm getting in the tub eventually anyway. Who cares? But it's comical to me how astrology does not lie sometimes. I mean, astrology never lies, but it's comical sometimes how much that just shows up so that we can see it. It's not like I rolled around in a bed of hay in between the readings or anything. It's just the moon. Okay, so on our upside down original meaning of our temperance, we have lack of communication that you might feel during February. I'm feeling a big energy of, while again, that might be frustrating, like this Knight of Pentacles, it's not time for all of the things to be said yet. Hello, Maricela. It's not time for all those things to be said yet. Yeah. Yeah, the moon is on my Venus and I'm falling apart and I'm okay with it, right? Because you're supposed to like let things go during a full moon. I'm not here to win beauty contests. Like, I never have been my whole life, but like, it's just not ever why I'm online. And if you've ever seen my TikTok, you'll know how little I care about that stuff. Okay, so I'm like lying in bed and half awake in the last TikTok I made. We also have the Queen of Wands feeling a little this goes along with this imposter syndrome. And then we have 2 of Pentacles, more of trying to find balance. Listen, Sagittarius, February is going to be uncomfortable for you. It's uncomfortable because you are at the precipice of a huge fucking change. You are on the precipice of a shift and you know it. You feel it. You just would be like, you know what would be great? Because you want everyone to win and y'all don't love conflict that much. You know what would be great? If we could just, can we jump to the good part? Whoa, right? Can we jump to the good part? Can we not do the uncomfortable? That would be great. Thanks. Who do I talk to about that, right? You feel the shift. You feel it. So you may feel called to be resting. Let things get a little out of control. And I know like Sagittarius is a good time, but that doesn't mean they want like no control in the rest of their life. Don't get that twisted. Your belief systems may be completely shifting. Probably in a good way, because if you're here, you are... If you're at all watching me, you're somebody who is happy for growth. You're not trying to stay the same because you know that there's no prize for that at the end of the at the end of your run here. Oh, I'm almost dizzy with what's coming in. I threw the cards down because like, wow. And I feel it physically. You have a mindset change coming. It's going to blow a lot of things open for you in a good way. February might be a little uncomfortable. Yeah, I would like to know too who I can talk to about that, right? Like at the beginning of this reading, my nose started to run, which seems to lately be, it only happens when I'm with you people. I don't really have like, first of all, I do like lymphatic drainage. I do like, I'm so ridiculous with my supplements, my whatever. I used to own a spa. Like some of my best friends are massage therapists. I learned not only to be an esthetician and all the you know, the fascia in the face and all that. Like I know how to work my sinus points. I don't walk around with a runny nose. That's not me. But that lately, sometimes when I sit down to cards, specifically readings, either in a session or here, my nose is running. And the first thing I said is like, could I get a different sign? Who do I like? Thank you. I'm happy. I'm grateful for all the signs. I'm grateful for all the gifts. I'm grateful for the increase of gifts lately. But if it could not be my nose running, I won't be mad. I would love to see who we could talk to about, can we jump to the good part? Sorry, I digressed about my whole, like, I know how to work my sinus system. Everybody's like, what the fuck is she talking about? I don't need to hear that. Bye. I knew that this was going to be a big deal reading, and it is. The uncomfortable brings something, again, not loving conflict, not, you know, not really loving uncomfortable spaces. Wanting to see everyone win, wanting to believe the best in people. You're still going to have all of those beautiful things about you. This feels so important to say to Sagittarius, and I am so dizzy from the physical signs that I could practically fall over. And it's not from not taking care of myself. I took very good care of myself today. It's a full moon. You can move into a different mindset shift. You can move into expanding, which you know how to do, Sagittarius. Expanding your belief systems. You are not letting go of the most beautiful parts about you. The part that wants everyone to win. The part that really wants to think best and think the most of everyone. The part of you that doesn't feel the need to brag so that other people don't feel less than. All of those gorgeous, gorgeous parts of you don't go away as you transition into this new shift. My candle is going crazy as I'm saying this. And I lit an abundance candle for you all. It's a little hot to touch right now, but I lit an abundance candle for you all. Do you hear that? It has not been doing that. Not Aries, not Leo, not the beginning. Just now when I'm talking about this stuff. I could sit here and tell you to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable, because that is how we lean into change. And I believe that. I believe it's also dumb for me to say that to Sagittarius. Like, okay, that crazy stranger on the internet said that, so now that's just what we're doing. What I want you to do, Sagittarius, and this feels, again, really important, feels like a lot of important stuff here, is I want you to trade something out. I want you to rephrase something you've been saying to yourself a while. If you're saying like, what if, but what if I do A and then B doesn't happen, right? And then I have to go back to what we're doing before. I don't want to do that. And the blow to my confidence that would take would be terrible. And I'll get all that uncomfortable for what? What's the point of getting all that uncomfortable? What's the point of making everybody upset? What's the point of having conflict? If I'm just going to turn around and have to go back to it, if it's not going to work, right? What I want you to do is, for every time you feel nervous, for every time you feel uncomfortable, I want you to inhale and then exhale longer than you inhale. You could do it for 2 seconds. If you inhale for 2 and exhale for 3, you're doing the job. If you can inhale for 5 and exhale for 6 or 7, that's better. You hate what ifs, but you torture yourself with them. I would love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. If you have Sagittarius energy, you hate what ifs, but you probably torture yourselves with them. Because it's what is worth the risk? What is worth the discomfort of not just myself, but other people? Because you do care about the whole world. You do care how everybody is in this situation. I'm not wrong about that. I don't know why more people don't give Sagittarius credit. That whenever you see a Sagittarian kind of operating in smallness or what looks like a little bit of fear, it's not just because they're a fearful person. They're normally not. It's what is worth risking everybody's unhappiness. They're really quite considerate. And they don't get thought of as considerate, maybe because they're like word salad vomit sometimes when you're talking to them, because they're like, blah, 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 you know, and then they think later about what they said, or they can be very blunt. They're fun, they're jovial, right? They have that beautiful Jupiter, but Jupiter also exaggerates everything. So like, if you're having worries that this is not worth this discomfort, the worry, the exaggeration of whatever you are feeling does manifest in anxiety, in blocks and obstacles, because you care a lot. You can hear the candle then. You're saying candle ASMR? Yeah. It's going crazy right now. None of the conditions. I don't have windows open. I don't have a ceiling fan. None of the conditions have changed. Yes, somebody said, absolutely, it drives me crazy and it keeps me in situations longer. The thing about Sagittarius or Sagittarians who still have a little bit more to process. And Cancers, now those signs are in conjunct, who have a little bit more to process. Wow. Have in common is that they will stay in situations a little longer for different reasons. For Cancer, it's the attachment. For Sagittarius, is it really worth what has to happen for me to move out of that energy, move out of that situation? Cancers and Sagittarians often find themselves in their own way, as do all the signs, again, for different reasons. I said what I said. On this side, with that passive-aggressive Knight of Swords, we have the Knight of Wands. The Page of Wands, right? And the Knight of Wands. And the Two of Swords. Whatever kind of decision you feel like I can do this or I can do that. This is for the other. So this is for cross watchers, the other energy, or if you're trying to move into your own best self. When we have the Two of Swords, it looks like there's one way or another, and often there's pressure to choose. When I think of this as a Gemini, we feel like the pressure comes from external circumstances, which is the other side of Sagittarius, right? You have to choose one or the other. You have to choose one or the other, but there's usually a third way. Here we have closed eyes. Normally we see a blindfold in the Two of Swords. There's a third way, and it's inside. It's in that third eye. It's in that self-knowing. It's in trusting yourself, knowing that your higher self is the most important person, the most powerful person on your team. It's the version of you that's lived 100 lives. That's your instinct. I hope you all realize that. When your instinct kicks in, it is partially your nervous system sometimes. Sometimes your anxiety is lying to you. But that real gut feeling, that comes from your higher self, who is the version of you that has lived 100 years. Trust them. If you want to sit back and look at what you see as mistakes in your life and judge yourself, first of all, go watch that Leo full moon thing. But second of all, your higher self has done all of that 1,000 times. And is wiser for it and understands that. That is your gut. That's your instinct. It's your higher selves. It's you in a masterclass with a PhD in life and mistakes and lessons and decisions. That's the third way in the Two of Swords. With Gemini, again, because they know how to work duality and that makes other people uncomfortable, it's often external circumstances making them feel the pressure. When I get this for a Sagittarius, I often feel like it's a Sagittarius. It's your inner pressure. But again, we have the Knight and the Page of Wands here. There's something... It feels like whatever these two energies are, they are both holding back from things that they could really do well with. I don't know necessarily that that's together unless this is you. But what we're stepping into, holy bazoli, right? So we have the Hermit. Why is the Hermit going into the Hermit? We have Seven of Pentacles, waiting energy. We have Four of Pentacles, trying to let go of attachments, which, you know, we talked about before the clarification. And then, oh, look, what is clarifying the Hermit? The Hermit. If this is not you, this other energy in March is probably going to get quiet. You're probably going to feel like a lack of normal buzzing of nothingness. And let me clarify that. I am feeling all of a sudden very like, from this energy for you, that sometimes when you're done having a conversation, you feel like, was that even real? Is that how they really felt? That felt like word salad, right? And I get word salad, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm already feeling unsure whether to take risks, whether to risk the uncomfortable. And you are giving me nothing to work with. You are not helping me make any decisions because it's passive aggressive, right? Communication. And then the star card is like, I don't know, feels like it could move forward, but I don't know. And nobody's ready. And somebody's got imposter syndrome. And this one's got rejection of, I'm good, I don't need to change. And so, wow. And then we have, you know, the Two of Swords. And you could be dealing with somebody that's Gemini energy. Then there's the Knight of Wands, the Page of Wands. That's a lot of like, should we start? Do I start? I want to start. I don't know if I should start. Maybe I should start. But for right now, I don't want to tell anybody I'm going to start because I haven't made the decision to start. I'm still in the Two of Swords. So I'll just be passive aggressive about my communication. That is really hard to deal with if you're dealing with that. If that just resonated to a place where you're like, yes, it is hard to deal with, please, every night before you go to sleep, say, universe, spirits, and guides, please release from me any energy that isn't mine. Furthermore, I call back all of my energy and power from those using it with or without my permission. Thank you so much. Restore it and align it. Every night. Hi, Dolly. It's okay. Thank you. I promise I wasn't saying that to fetch compliments. I'm saying that because it's so funny how literal the astrology can play out in front of our eyes. But thank you. Yeah, if you're dealing with that kind of like, what the was that? If you're getting out of conversations with somebody who you don't have a choice, but this is somebody affecting your energy and you're half like, am I done? Am I not done? Should I say the thing? It could not even be whether you're done or not done. You're like, do I really just say the thing that I'm feeling, that I'm frustrated over? Is it worth what's going to come next? Right? But then when you try to talk to them and you try the nice way, when you try the Sagittarian way, you get off of the exchange and you're like, what the fuck was that? I promise you, you're going to want to do that, releasing any energy that does not belong to you and calling back all your power from those using it with or without your permission. Wow, this was the longest reading I've done all day because this was so heavy. This hermit mode that this person's going to go into and they feel like they're in waiting energy, let them. It's going to be better than what this was. So don't take it personal. 4 agreements, get the 4 agreements, read the 4 agreements. I'm going to tell this community to read the don't take it personal part first. Sometimes in sessions, I'm like, go get that book. And often people are like, oh, I have that book. And then I say, okay, but I want you to read this section first, no matter where it comes in the book. Take nothing personal. I want you to read that. You can get it online. You could probably get it for free someplace. You could probably read excerpts of it if buying a book is not in the cards right now. So overall, good or bad month. Okay, so I don't quantify, hi Guy, and welcome, and you're not, somebody asked that in the full moon reading, because we were going over aspects. If you showed up on the chat on my full moon, we went over your actual aspects, because there was only like, I want to say 33 people at the most. So we were able to like go over people's charts within the full moon and get real personal. I don't see things in good and bad. I see things in how you, So you'll go back and you'll watch the whole thing because there's tons of messages in it for you. But I don't see things as good or bad. I see things as bringing things to our awareness and then looking at the tools we have to process things and deciding whether we want to replace them with new tools because we have moved on, because we have evolved, because we've outgrown people, because we've outgrown situations. Aw, I love you, Danny. I'm glad you showed up too. I appreciate all of your energy. My chat is always lit, and these are so like I'm getting all these messages, and there's so much coming through for you guys. That's you. I'm a conduit. That's all of you. You're not gonna mind so much when this energy pulls back because it'll leave you more clear. Without this kind of like word salad passive aggressive, you won't be trying to make sense of that, and you'll be able to also get a clearer conversation with yourself when you are putting less pressure on yourself too. Now, there might be okay, so we have the Five of Swords. Normally, I would not like this card, but if I see the Five of Swords on a Sagittarius reading, I kind of feel like you did the thing. I kind of feel like this is really progression. But Five of Swords is a little bit of confrontation. You might have risked it. You might have went, okay, I'm going to relax and go with the energy, let everything ebb and flow, and I'm going to say the thing. I'm going to say the thing, leave the thing, do the thing. And there's going to be a little bit of, not everyone's going to like it. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous Ace of Pentacles. You got an ace, a new beginning, instability. The pentacles that you have feeling like, oh, they have the pentacles. The pentacles won't come to me. How do I change the wheel so that I can have the pentacles? Right? You do the thing. You fucking relax. And you let the ebb and flow happen that you don't have control over anyway. Can't keep everything nice all the time because you want everybody to be happy. It's beautiful. I fucking love that about you guys. But it's not realistic. You do the thing. You just, okay, the conflict will happen and then it'll be done, right? But you let it happen. That. Wouldn't that be great if that was all of it? But it's not. Look what else you got. You got two aces. New way of communicating. Right through the crown chakra. Epiphanies, aha moments, new tools in your toolbox, new stability, new sources of income. It's going to come through conflict. Plot twist, Sagittarius. It's going to come through conflict. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And when you're in the middle of the conflict and you're like, this does not feel fine, you have full permission to go right into my email and be like, you said this was going to feel okay and it doesn't. You can be Angry Kermit on the keyboard letting me know that you did not enjoy the conflict portion of the program. I will be the bad guy. I'm totally good for that. Trust me, I'm people's bad guys all the time, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm strangely comfortable with it. Go watch Band of Brothers, not Band of Brothers. Well, yeah, watch Band of Brothers. Boondock Saints. Oh, such a great movie. I'm strangely comfortable with it. That is how you finish March. That is how you walk into March. It's going to come a little conflict. And again, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. And you can yell at me in my email. I'm totally okay with that. It's catharsis. Catharsis is healthy, Sagittarius. Okay. Let's get you, I'm feeling enchanted map. Let's get you an oracle card and then let's get me in the bath, shall we? If you want to combine a bath and that Leo reading I did yesterday, if you haven't watched it, that's going to be a magical combination for you. I promise. Okay. Ugh, it looks like the Temperance cards. Okay, let's find, wrong way. Boop. You see the difference in me? This reading was a lot, and I'm so happy to have given it to you. I feel humbled that your guides allowed me to deliver the messages. Okay. Sacred Pool. The world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Didn't I say that? Embody the love you wish to see in the world. You already do that. You're Sagittarius. That was a redundant message for all my Sagittarians. I apologize for wasting your time for that 15 seconds. You already do that. Okay. When you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? This card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem reflected by the sacred pool and at peace with yourself. A detached self-examination made with rigorous honesty is called for now. Can you see how far you've come and how magical you are? This is the anti-imposter syndrome card. Yup, you're that good. Yup, you're that important. Yup, you have that much to share. No, you're not kidding yourself. Yes, it is worth the conflict. Sagittarius, I love you, now you love you. I will be doing earth signs on Tuesday, and then I'll figure out when I'm doing air and water, quite honestly. Otherwise, I'm just going to make you promises that I have to be honoring my health and everything else and whatever may come up with kids and life. But I'll definitely have earth signs on Tuesday. I have it scheduled in my calendar. So I hope you share this. I hope you sit with it. I hope you watch it twice. Leave me in comments. Send me an email when you're mad. Angry Kermit. I encourage it. Catharsis. I love you. Now you love you. Bye.